Hey folks, welcome to Wolfman's Gaming Den. Today we have an unboxing video for you guys. We'll be unboxing the game Under Falling Skies. Under Falling Skies is a predominantly solo game, a solo game basically, designed for one player to be played between roughly 20 to 40 minutes. It is published by CGE and the designer is Thomas Ollier. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. My apologies if I'm not. Let's crack into it. We'll have a look at what's inside the box. But before we go into it, I want to give a quick bit of disclaimer. I have not played the game before, but I do understand that there's a campaign mode in there. Some of the components might have spoilery things in it. So as I go through the unboxing itself, I'll try to be very careful in terms of what I do put on the camera and what I skip. So keep that in mind. I'll try to keep it as spoiler-free as possible. So hopefully there's nothing in here that spoils the game for you. So keep in mind that there might be some content that I'm skipping for the benefit purely of that, so to speak. So with that, let's quickly go to the table, open this up and see what's inside. Welcome to the table and the unboxing for Under Falling Skies. So right up front, we'll quickly look at what the box art looks like. Over here, we can see it's attractive enough. There's nothing very striking that's going on, but it certainly evokes themes of military conflict, as you can see by those airplanes. Some dude who's trying to, coordinate or provide commands and whatnot. And once you know the theme of the game, which is basically the fact that there is an alien invasion of sorts that's going on, or attempted invasion, as the case might be, you can understand that this sort of like represents that mothership that's spewing out the ships that are coming down to basically attack planet Earth. So reminds me a little bit of the poster for Independence Day, but that could just be me. But it's attractive enough. Generally, I like it. I'll flip it over to the side very quickly. Not really much ongoing there, but at the back of the box, you get a quick overview of what you can expect the game to look like once it's laid out in front of you. And you can see that it's definitely a very long, elongated presence over there. So there's going to be some dice in the game from what we can make out over here. You can see a Space Invader style sort of like, mothership and then ships coming down to attack. I know a little bit about the game, so I have a sense of what to expect in there, and this is fairly reflective of that. As I mentioned earlier, this is obviously meant to be a solo game, as you can see with solo written in big bold letters. To be played in 20 to 40 minutes. So over here you can see some of the components that are in there. So they're going to be stacked and separated out by campaigns or missions and such. So we'll see what that looks like obviously once we open it up. So let's quickly do that right now. All right, so there we go. White inside, and then we'll move this. So right up front, you can see the weight and the warning sign. Please do not dump out everything in this box. So pretty much what we were talking about earlier on. There is a 4-chapter campaign in the box at the bottom. So it says remove the starting components of at the top. Leave the campaign in the box for now. So we'll be careful with how we sort of like do this, and I might move some of the things off screen so that I can have a quick look at it before I put it on screen, because I do want to be able to protect the surprises in here for you in case you do want to play the game. So let's do that right now. I'll quickly have a look at what's in here before we go into sort of like if I want to put it up front or not. And this looks like a pretty standard rule book, so I think we can have a quick look at it. So this is the front of the rule book itself. There's a video barcode that you can sort of like use to go and check it out online. So there's going to be a tutorial that hopefully teaches you how to play the game. This gives you an overview of the setup. So lays out all the different key pieces in front. Talks a little bit about the gameplay. So there's a dice phase, rooms phase, mothership phase, and end of game. So not a very heavy game by the look of things, and there is some visual breakdown and graphics in the middle as well, so it does not seem very heavy in itself. Hopefully it's easy to learn as well. For a full game, so it looks like there might be a way to play a basic game and then sort of like a slightly fuller version of it. So there's a threat level that you need to contend with, cities, robots, hello, all right. Now we have the details of the campaign. We'll quickly skip through these, starting the campaign. So talks a little bit about how to do that. Spice up your standalone game. So there are ways in which the standalone game that you play, it might be possible for you to beef that up a little bit or maybe add a little bit of variety to it. So good to know it's there. And then of course we saw the side right up front. So there we go. We'll move these to the side. CGE catalog, in case you're interested. We're not going to go through that in much more detail. And now these look like plastic ships. And this is, well, it's, feels plastic / glass kind of a thing. It's so you have red ships and then white ships. There seem to be two of these markers, green and yellow, and there's an orange colored ship in here as well. So hopefully you can make that out. Again, nobody's going to confuse these for expensive minis or resin miniatures or anything of that sort, but I suppose they serve the function of what they're meant to do. And there's a red cube in here as well, I just realized. So yeah, so you have these that come in the box, ships that you need to fight back with. And we'll put these aside. Next up, we had said that there's going to be a few dice in the game, and we see these up front right here. So there's these are wooden dice, if I'm not mistaken, and there's a wooden pawn piece here as well. What looks like some sort of a van or an excavator. I think it's an excavator because you're building things underground in this. So that's there. The dice feel okay. Like if you've played Gauntlet and Clever or some of the other dice games that have wooden dice, roll and write games rather, sorry I should say, you have a good sense of the quality that you're expecting here. These are not, you're not going to confuse these for expensive plastic dice anytime soon, but I suppose these are functional. And again, it is a relatively inexpensive game, so I guess that's another way in which you keep the cost down. That hopefully gives you a bit more gameplay for your buck, so to speak. All right, so we'll move these to the side. A couple of larger Ziploc bags. We're not going to worry about those. Now, there's a whole stack of cardboard, as you can see. And some of these, I'll quickly show you guys, these are marked together. So I'll quickly move those aside right now, because I'll have a look at this on the side and see what needs to be brought up, and we'll have a look at the rest of the components first. So this is perhaps a save sheet of sorts. So there's a few pages. It's not a very thick book. It's I'm guessing you probably have like a dozen pages or so, perhaps even less. It actually looks like 6 or 7 ish. Double-sided, but it's there for you to use it should you wish to. And again, I assume that that's related more to the campaign than anything else. And these are just punching out fairly easily, like even without me doing anything to it, to be honest. So these are coming out. This is coming out. This is coming out. All very easy stuff. So you have Roswell, New York. So there's different locations, I guess, that you can play with. I know that there are other cities in there as well, so we're not going to go into that all that much, but and these are the different tiles that you'll be laying out in a sort of like a vertical format where the ships are going to come out. These arrows gives you a bit of a sense of programming in terms of how the ships would behave when they do come out. Again, these are double-sided, and these are with different prints on the two sides. And the thickness is solid, so I'm pretty happy with that. So we'll move these to the side. Again, more stuff that's just punching out very easily. Now, this is from what I understand, these are meant to be the locations that are underground. This is where you'll be playing out some of the dice, building things, doing things, and so on and so forth. Whereas these locations that we had a look at earlier on, this is the sky, where a lot of the combat or fighting the spaceships is going to take place. So two different kind of tiles that you will have in the game. Again, double-sided as well. You get Washington, D.C. as a city that you can play with. And again, the city tiles are double-sided as well. I don't know what the difference is as of now, but just know that it's there. And then we'll move these to the side. Now, this is the mothership. So this is going to be at the very top of the play area. And then you're going to have the ships coming out of here into the sky, trying to attack you. It is double-sided, so the other side sort of like gives you a quick overview of the different phases. So the dice phase, rooms phase, mothership phase. So you can have it this side up if you need to sort of like remind yourself of the different steps. But of course, once you get a little bit more familiar with it, I assume you might switch over and just use this side, which is a little bit more artistic. Yeah. So it just depends on how familiar you are with the game. And you might sort of like use the side based on that. And then, of course, we have another location tile that is similar to the ones that we had seen earlier on. So we'll move these to the side. I will have a quick look at the tiles that I had set aside. And to be fair, I'm just quickly flipping through these. I do see some things which might be a little spoilery, so I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna crack open all of these and show you everything that's inside. But I will give you a quick scan through of what you can expect. So there are 4 of these. They seem to have a comic book style thingy laid out. I'm quickly zipping through them. If you want to spoil it for yourself by pausing, you can. But that tells you that there is going to be some sort of a comic book story development that's ongoing. I can also tell you, and I'm not going to flip it over to the other side, that there are going to be other things in here which are variants of what we saw earlier on. So other cities, which I'd already said once before. But there are things other than that as well, such as characters and so on. So I'm not going to spoil those for anybody. I might actually just put up a warning on this video saying that it is as spoiler-free as possible. So, if you want something that's a little bit more spoilery, I'm sure there are other options online that you can try and check out. But this hopefully tells you that there are going to be other locations, characters that you can play with, and comic book style story development. So I think that's fair enough to stick to for now. And I'm quickly flipping through these to see if there's anything else I want to mention. And no, I think if you do want to try this game out for yourself, I'm going to just stop there and say that there is stuff in there that I'm excited to discover. I do not want to spoil it for you, so hopefully you're excited to discover. So that's it. That's the as spoiler-free as possible unboxing for Under Falling Skies. Let's quickly go back to the table and I'll share my thoughts on what I think about it so far. All right, folks, so that was the unboxing for Under Falling Skies. Now, I'm generally not a solo player in any major way, but this is definitely a game that's got my attention and something that I'm really excited to try out. I will hopefully have a tutorial for this up by the middle of February with a review along the same time as well. I'm planning to hopefully run through the campaign by that time, so I will be able to share my thoughts on how I feel about the game. I do know a little bit about how the game works, and I like what I know so far, so I'm optimistic, but I'll have a more detailed review up on this soon as is. In the meanwhile, thank you for watching. If you have any thoughts, comments, suggestions, please feel free to leave them down below and I'll get to them as soon as I can. I also have a couple of other videos coming up pretty soon, just to give you sort of like a quick heads up on it. I will have reviews for 2 bee-themed games coming up pretty soon, Bees and Honeybuzz, I think that's the one. Yeah. And yeah, so hopefully that's something for you guys to look forward to as well, besides the tutorial and the review for this one. So catch you on those pretty soon, and take care, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.